If you look at a map, then one of those countries are the United States, which is third or fourth biggest country in the world, depending who you ask, which is home to 316 million people. It's not that crowded, but at times it gets crowded in bigger cities because the country is smaller than Canada. Honestly, depending who you ask. It is mostly divided by English and Spanish, although there's many more. And also it is divided by native, but there's not much natives in the country anymore since. So the U.S. is divided by lots of things. Up here, Alaska is divided by Russian, as there's most Russian relatives down there. And there's Eskimos up here, as they belong to both of these Eskimo sides. Up here is the really small French population, and here is all the city area, where all the, a lot of the population in the United States is. Then we got native land right here in the middle of the United States, and then we got where most Canadians live, and then we got where the most Mexicans live, right here. It goes longer, but that's most population that lives there. And also, there's where all the rednecks are, the Texan side. And here's the suburban area on the west. And then in Florida, this is where the most tourists are. Because, well, the Washington, D.C. is between both of these, so, yeah. They got just divided by history. Let's start with the basics. Alaska is this divided because the Russians used to have Alaska until they sold it to the United States. But even before that, the Eskimos came from Alaska. So, this is another kind, as in my other video, Nunavut and Yukonian Eskimos. Yukon is separating these two when they are the same Eskimo. So let's get down to the mainland. The Florida part got divided because that's where most tourists came. And also, over here, this is the most French population because the French trying to colonize it. And also, this is the most densely populated area of the United States, as this was the first, part of the 7 colonies. Well, yeah, there was, and this is where the most cities are. If you ever go to the United States, then Washington, D.C. and Chicago and all that, it'll all be there. So, the Indian tribes are over here because there's not a lot of Indian tribes, but it should mostly belong to the rednecks. But I'm just going to put a space for the Indians because they still have because that's most uninhabited part of the United States right there. I don't know, it's kind of New Jersey, I think. But a lot of tribes used to live there, so I'm going to put them as a spot. And then I put the rednecks there because, well, there's a lot of rednecks in the country. So the Mexican area is there because lots of Mexicans migrated after tons of violence that went in Mexico. Then the suburban area because, well, I've seen lots of movies and I've seen lots of people visiting Washington, not Washington, D.C., it's Washington's a state, and I've seen lots of suburban areas, so I'm going to make that suburban area. It's the Canadian area because it's close to the Canadian border, and maybe I should divide it here because there's a lot of Canadians in the eastern side of Alaska. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Mexico is next for this series, and then I'll make North America Divided series. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! And make sure to subscribe and like if you like this series, because I enjoy it too.